Hey Quad Bros, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another major dev blog for the new Enlisted. Enlisted 2. Not actually Enlisted 2, but the new Enlisted with a new progression. They put out a new dev blog for this stuff and we're going to be running through it because there's lots of goodies in here and some little confusions that I hope to clarify after I clarified them with some others. So first off here guys, we're going to have locations based on the weapons you choose. So as you guys probably are aware at this point, in the new system, you won't be queuing a campaign. You'll be queuing a faction. So say you'll queue as Germany, you'll queue as America, you'll queue at, well, the Western Allies, you'll queue as the Soviets, or you'll queue up as Japan, right? One of those four things. And then previously it was just going to throw you into matches based on where those factions historically fought. And now, based on the feedback, people wanted the historical accuracy side of things. They didn't want Tigers in Moscow and things like that. So they've put in a new soft rule, meaning it's not guaranteed, but they're going to prioritize you to be on maps that are based on the faction and time period that you're in. So if you're using a lot of early war weapons as the Soviets, you're more likely to get Battle of Moscow or Stalingrad as opposed to getting Battle of Berlin. You know, if you're using, say, you know, late war stuff like an STG-44, you're much more likely to get Normandy and Berlin as opposed to Tunisia, right? Or Stalingrad. So again, this is a soft rule, and so you're not guaranteed here. It will only apply as long as there are players in the queue that are using similar gear to you, which means I think generally speaking, you're going to see a lot more of this early war because there's going to be more new players playing the game. So that's going to fill those queues up a little bit more. But I think that you know, if it works perfectly, it's probably 8 out of 10 games, maybe 7 out of 10 games. You're going to be in the right time period. You're going to have the right gear, right? So I think that's good. I think that's more than enough. I think that's enough of a trade-off to make this system very worth it. And, you know, it's a little bit of a sacrifice, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. And at the end of the day, it might even add some nice variety to the game. So overall, it'll be a lot better. They're listening to that feedback, so, you know, continue leaving that feedback around. But again, guys, it's a soft rule. It has to be a soft rule, because if we make it a hard rule, if you allow people to queue certain time periods or select a box that makes them select only certain time periods, you're just creating more queues, and that's going to end up with really split player bases like we have now, and that's just not good for the overall health of the game. Hey guys, Editor Quadro here. Just wanted to throw this in. I will be streaming tonight when you see this video, 3/17, March 17th, Friday, whatever. I'll be streaming at like, I don't know, 6 p.m. EST or so, and we'll be talking about all these changes. So if you want to jump into that conversation, make sure you guys check that out on YouTube. You'll see the stream. All right, back to the video. Next up is, I did also want to mention about the U.S. So the U.S. is only going to be going against Japan with early war weapons. And this is kind of a confusing way they wrote this, but basically it means that Japan isn't going to be going up against jumbos. You don't have to worry about, you know, going up against a jumbo or a P-47 or a P-51 or something like that. Maybe an early P-51. But regardless, you're not going to go against the late war U.S. faction as Japan, because Japan doesn't really have late war stuff. The Japanese don't have anything to fight a jumbo right now, right? They barely have stuff to fight a Stuart, right? So you're not going to have to worry about jumbos in the Pacific. That's not going to be a thing. So if you want to play in the Pacific, you're going to have to equip early war stuff, which we'll also talk about here in a little bit. Advanced soldier upgrades. So I'm actually going to go over to, this is all talking about perks and stuff like that. And I'm going to go into Enlisted to show you guys this, because this is kind of an important thing here. So if I had like a level 1 guy, right? So let's take this level 3 engineer here, right? So to level up that engineer, I have to first find that squad, which I think is this one. I have to get that squad. I have to max that squad up to engineer rank 5, right, in the squad menu. And then I have to go back to that soldier. I have to then level him up here, right? And then I have to play with him in game and then get XP for these. And then I have to use that XP to get a perk. Also, these perk points can go down and they can vary and change based on the soldier themselves. It's totally random. And this is a really complicated system. This is so complicated of a system that a lot of players out there generally don't even understand how this works. I've done multiple videos on it, and I still get a lot of people asking me how the perk system works because it's really confusing. And so in the new system, and what they're proposing with the new system, is that all you're going to do is you're going to go in here and you're going to upgrade this just like you would in the current system. But as you upgrade this, it's just going to automatically upgrade all of your guys. So for example, right, again, if I had an engineer, let me see if I have any more. Yeah, so I have this engineer, right? I don't think I have this squad upgraded. So, you know, if I were to go and upgrade this engineer to squad, wherever it is, yeah, there it is. Nope, this isn't it, but it's fine. If I were to go and upgrade this engineer to squad, he's rank 3 right now. If I were to upgrade him to rank 4, he would just automatically upgrade, right? I wouldn't have to pay any orders or any bronze orders or anything like that to upgrade him. He would just automatically upgrade as I go through this tree, right? So just boom, boom, he's now rank 5. We're also removing these perk points from being random. Now they're going to be set, and they're going to be just always max rolls. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, did I get the high roll? Did I get the low roll? Blah, 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 blah. And we're also not going to be limited on the amount of perks that a soldier can have. And you can take multiple perks of the same kind. So, you know, if you have 16 vitality perks, well, you could take, say, you could take 200% health restored by med pack twice, right? I think that's pretty cool. Or you could take firearm reload speed, you know, twice if you had enough points. So then you could like super reload your gun, like, you know, 36% faster reload speed if you took it 3 times, or like, you know, minus 80% vertical recoil or something like that. Depending on how the perks shake out, I'm sure there'll be a rebalance of it, but supposedly now you'll be able to take these perks multiple times, which I think is really cool. I really enjoy that. I think it's kind of interesting. See, yeah, they say you could go for a generalist with simple but a lot of abilities, or you could go with a specialized fighter with a couple really powerful skills. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great change, and I'm glad to see them kind of redoing this perk system because it's a little yikes in my opinion. It's very complicated. A lot of people are pretty confused about it, and they're gonna put the abilities in a tree, I guess. So you fight, you gain XP, and then you unlock perks. So there you go. That's basically how it's gonna be. So it's going to be. Oh, sorry guys. Some of them can be taken multiple times. So only some of them. There you go. All right. And then what will the major upgrades look like? So these are the new campaigns. So they said in the new campaigns and the new format for releasing campaigns, there'll be no need to start leveling up from scratch. New campaigns will not endlessly divide the player base. New campaigns are going to bring new, unique locations, squads, weapons, and vehicles, and new game mechanics that will be launched in the form of a global event in which any commander can participate. During the events, you'll get upgraded and well-armed squads under your command and for completed battle tasks. Unique rewards that can only be received during the event. So when a new campaign comes out, it's not going to be like right now we have like, oh, the Battle of Moscow, and then we get a new campaign. It's the Battle of Finland. Now, instead of that, it's just going to be like, hey, we're adding in these new maps. Like, go play this global event, and you can unlock these new squads. It's basically going to be like this huge event, and then eventually, after some time, those maps are just kind of going to get filtered into the main map pool, which is a great way of handling things. It means we get this big hype event like we do right now, where everybody's playing and everybody's playing this new stuff, and we get these new weapons, these new gear, and these new squads, and these new soldiers, and everything like that. But it's not going to be like, oh, the new campaign came out. Well, I can't play Moscow anymore, and I have to start from scratch because everybody's playing the new campaign, and it's new, so everybody's at the beginning. No, now it's just like, okay, I'm going to go queue the new campaign with my German faction, and I get to play on the German maps, right? Or whatever it is, which is fantastic. I think it's such a great way of handling things. It'll be a lot more fun that way. And then the new weapons and vehicles are going to be added to the progression tree of the armies. So it's a great way of handling it. I'm very excited for that going forward. Enlisted is also going to have a single currency, silver. You'll be able to buy everything you bought for silver and bronze orders and even a bit more, and the gold remains in the game. So there's no longer going to be like silver weapon orders, silver troop orders, and gold weapon orders and all that stuff. Well, I think there will be gold weapon orders because the gold remains. But you're not going to have all this different type of stuff. You're just going to have silver, and you use silver for everything. We're not going to have silver and bronze, silver and bronze. It's just silver. You spend your silvers on stuff, and that's it, right? That's everything is just through the silver system, which is fantastic, because that's a lot cleaner. There's really no reason to have all these different types of currencies. So there you go. We'll add a long-awaited reward for joining a random side in battle. This will help matchmaking even more, which is great. So now you'll be able to click the button that's like join any side in the game, and then you get some bonus XP or something like that. So that's pretty cool. We'll introduce tougher measures against deserters, because nobody likes deserters. This is the only thing in the dev blog that I have a little bit of feedback for, at least off the top of my head here. I will say that it's fairly proven that negative reinforcement is not very good. Anybody that has studied that knows that. So I will say that we should be careful with this. I'm not opposed to having more tougher measures against deserters, but I would like the devs to consider including things to reward people who don't desert, as opposed to punishing players who do desert. I don't think that adding really heavy punishment to deserters is a good idea, simply because it's pretty proven that negative reinforcement isn't good. But if you just do something that locks the faction for like, 20 minutes or something like that, or until the game ends, like War Thunder, I think that that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. And I think that that should have already been in the game. So I'd be pretty okay with that. But I don't want things that are like, oh, you get locked out of playing for 3 hours. I think that that's really messed up, because it's like, it's like people, sometimes things happen, right? Sometimes your dog, shits on the floor, and then you gotta go clean it up, and you leave the match because of it, or your kid falls down the stairs or something, right? You gotta leave. There's gonna be a mechanic for squad loadouts. Each set can be filled with squads, weapons, and vehicles for sighting at a certain rank, and switching between them is easy. So this is great. This is the system that was proposed almost immediately in my Discord by one of my mods, What's It To Ya. This basically means, like, this is exactly how War Thunder operates, for those of you that have played War Thunder. So the proposed system that some people had was a system where you have like campaign-based loadouts, and you would basically, like, this would keep campaigns, because you would queue as like a certain campaign, or you'd queue like Germany, and then you had like a Berlin, Stalingrad, Moscow loadout or whatever, and then it would choose one of those. That's not what they're doing. Effectively, because that system was terrible. It was like really, really complicated. This system, all it is it's like War Thunder loadouts. Like, you can be like, okay, I want to have a machine gunner early, a assaulter early, and a T-28 tank, right? Early war stuff. And then there's a little loadout button that you can click, and it'll just swap you over to a new loadout that you can define and be like, okay, this loadout is actually my mid-war loadout. So I want to have a T-34 early, and I want to have like PPDs, and I want to have, whatever other early war, mid-war weapons, AVSs, I guess. And then you can have a late war loadout that's like AVT, PPSH, IS-2, like all these late war stuff. So then, instead of having to swap out everything, right, like, you can just click the loadout button and you just go back, right? And you get to set where you want those to be. So if you had some friends who maybe just started playing the game, but you're an expert in Enlisted, you've played forever and you have all the stuff, then you don't have to like spend 15 minutes changing all of your equipment. You can just click a button and you go to your early war loadout that you had preset, right, that you made, and then you can play early war with your friend. So I think that's a great thing to add in. It's not complicated. The proposed system that a lot of people had with the campaigns was what the major issue was, and that what a lot of people were pushing back against. This is not that. This is just basically War Thunder, which is good. It's a good loadout system. It's fantastic. And then they'll also add an equipment set mechanic, with which a successful weapon setup can be transferred in a couple of clicks to other soldiers. For example, equipping your new squad, which is great. So you can just copy paste your stuff over to your other squads. So that'll also help this squad setup go pretty quick. I don't really think this is that necessary, because I don't think setting up your squads takes that long. But hey, copy paste stuff pretty quick. We already have the auto equip, so just icing on the cake. So lots of stuff to go over here, guys. Lots and lots of stuff, which is fantastic. Other important small things, guys. KO Fox has confirmed that there will be a big update within 1 month. So we don't know what that will be in. It has been said that this will not be the progression update that we're seeing here in this dev blog, but there will be some sort of major update. So keep an eye out for that, guys. That's going to be pretty sweet to see. Probably here in April is what KO Fox is saying. Not this month, next month in April. So that's it, guys. So much to go through here, so much to talk about. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below, because there is tons to talk about in this. So much to go through. And guys, remember, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Take it easy.